Notice meetings of the open public meeting law for this Shade Tree Commission of the Township of Ocean meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the Township Clerk on June 23rd, 2025. This meeting will be recorded and available on Ocean Township's YouTube channel. So we'll start with a roll call. Chairperson Colton is finally here. Member Cronheim?
Here.
Danishgar?
Yep.
Gaudette?
Here.
Gordon? Motion, I don't see people up there. Motion, Lutz?
Here.
And Armstrong.
Here.
Councilwoman Talarico?
Here.
Honoris with her presence.
I was in Disney last month. I was on the council meeting at the Beast Castle in Magic Kingdom. So I'm sorry I missed last month, but that's where I was.
So you're so guilty that
I am
you
guilty.
came this time.
No, I would have been here last month if I was physically in New Jersey, but I'm sorry.
I wasn't even.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
This made me feel so bad.
Anyway,
Okay, go ahead.
so that's it. So we do have a couple of sets of minutes to review. Did people get a chance to review the minutes of these meetings, the minutes of March 5th, of February 5th and March 5th? Okay, so I read them, they looked pretty good to me. So I didn't have any suggested changes to the February minutes? Okay. Anyone who was here want to make a motion about approving these minutes?
I wasn't here, so.
It says here that I was here and Conan was here and that Jean and Kim were here.
February.
I can't remember.
Well,
I am,
I'm just reading. So, all right, so something,
I'll make a motion.
I made a motion to approve, seconded.
Oh, I actually didn't read it, so.
Can we have a vote at this meeting?
Hmm?
Do we have a vote at this meeting? We're alternates.
Well, Ken, you're the first alternate currently.
Yeah, you were the
So you
first
have, so you have.
Two.
Yeah, you do, but Steve wasn't here. And I wasn't present for that.
Oh,
I wasn't there.
Aye.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes of February 5th. Okay, so this meeting, this was gonna be an interesting one, okay? Because we had a legal meeting, but the only people at the March meeting were myself, Mr. Gaudette, and Moshe Gordon, who was on TV.
That's right.
So we had a meeting, so I thought the meeting was good. Okay, it's moved to, I'll move to second it. And the 2/3 of the people who are here are gonna vote to approve.
Yep.
2/3, that's pretty good, percentage to get it for, any vote. Okay. So. All right, so we can move on with today's. So one of the things that we usually have is Bill Brooks with his report, and things, okay? And he said that things have been slower than usual, which is the standard things. There hasn't been a lot of anything going on that
Getting the permits.
was worthy of note. He's getting the permits out.
Getting the permits out.
And,
I'm curious how the town's doing on finding a replacement.
well, I spoke to him. I'm not sure. I have to talk to some people, okay? I don't know. But for those who don't know, Mr. Brooks, he informed me that he closed on his house the other day. He's staying somewhere, okay? And he expects to be here with us through August, or into August, sometime like that.
Possibly.
Okay, possibly stay with us.
Carolina.
So, okay, so he, so we need to come up with the town needs to come up with a plan, hopefully
Okay.
replace him with someone that
Yeah, hopefully.
can get out there.
Yeah.
And,
I know they can look.
and he's been going.
Yeah, a lot of towns are looking, but they.
It's
many
not a lot of
coming
people
up.
out there.
I'm
No.
gonna tell you right now.
So he's, but he's spending the time, he's out and about,
Yeah, oh yeah, he got some done.
doing this stuff, you know, to move us along,
Timely fashion,
and he knows what he's seeing. So that's been good.
but I think once he's gone, get real
It's gonna
bad.
be trouble.
What's his official title, so I can,
His official title,
with the town, yeah,
I think it's, what is his?
Tree code enforcement.
tree code
Tree
enforcement.
code enforcement.
But we should check it for today for what exactly they're looking for too, because they're moving it under, public works as well. They're planning on moving it under public works, and as we know from the comprehensive forestry management plan, there's money allocated in the next few years to bring more people in and trying to create a shade tree department under public works, so I don't know what the title or new title will be.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know what-
it's still a work in progress.
Well,
But
well, certainly functionally,
Contact
tree
you.
code enforcement is what it is.
Yeah, but-
Regardless of what they want, so they want to call it.
They're gonna move it to the road department, which is what Asbury Park does at this time, and I'm telling you what, they don't got nobody, and it's bad, it's real bad. And I'm not looking forward to anything like that here.
No, I'm hoping we can.
Oh,
we can
we
do
can
better.
find some.
I'm gonna go have a meeting with Michelle, Mr. Higgins, you know, I'll try to get there next week sometime.
Yeah.
And we'll just talk things, I've always found him to be, easy to talk to.
If you can keep me in the loop on what's going on.
When you say a loop, you mean like a rope or a bunch?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like-
We're gonna hang you from the high
Oh,
street.
yes.
Sorry, I just enjoyed that image, just, that's all, sorry. Okay, so, all right, so we'll move on to the agenda. So, so we had the trees, we ordered an assortment of plants, which I forgot to bring the list with me.
Yeah, that's what, when there's a minute, I want to give a little feedback.
Yeah, well, that minute will be in a moment.
Great.
So anyway, there were two things. The first thing is that we usually historically give out trees to the third graders. And this year, there almost was a free program giving out red oak seedlings that the state had, but they had a crop failure, probably due to the fact that there was no air on it. I think for who knows how long, I don't know, but they some towns may have gotten something, but we didn't, get down to where they were giving out. So we gave out Tupelo or black gum seedlings. This is Sylvatica to the third graders that I got. I found that the state, that half of the trees they were giving away were evergreens, and I know that last year the trees last year's giveaway, had a bunch of evergreens and no one wanted it.
Right.
So that wasn't a good thing. So I found there's a nursery at South Jersey, Ackerboom Nursery, that does seedling, to produce who knows how many millions of seedlings they must produce, but they were beautiful seedlings.
Yeah.
Stuff is really
Yeah.
superior to anything we've got from the state anyway. And the school was good. We got it to them. Megan Edson and one of her classes prepared them for the students. And as I understand from what we're all going to hear,
Well,
Megan's
first,
going to tell us. No,
okay, sure.
Tell us, but she hoped that someone would come home,
Mhm.
speak to her grandson, and they were nice. Okay. And then we started having an issue with where we were going to hold the giveaway, because it was supposed to rain, which it didn't. But if we didn't have cover, I guarantee it would have been pouring.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we wound up over it, which probably is a good place to go all the time now.
Mhm.
The picnic area over at Marketplace over there. And we had a lot of stuff, and we gave away a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
How many did we give away? Do we know?
Well, we had, I have to have the list, okay? What we had, 400 or 500.
You know, I think you had total like almost 600. I think you had 600 total.
Well,
Were you counting the kid
No,
ones.
if you count the school.
Yeah.
If you don't count the school. Now, the way the schools worked, we gave the schools 220 ceilings.
Mhm.
There were about 206 third graders, a few
Okay.
extra, you never know what's gonna happen, whatever.
Yeah.
And we gave 10 each, give or take, to the Schultz School and the Search Day Program and Hillo School. Hillo's plan was to plant them on their property. The other ones, some of them go home, I'm not sure exactly. Never quite figured out. But we were giving them all those, There was a year, or a few years that we gave the Hillo when they gave them out to all the third graders also in their school. But they figured that they're not planting them, so they were, so we just gave them, hopefully they'll plant them on the property there and they'll grow into something.
Yeah.
And, so that was where we stood as far as that was concerned. And all the rest of the things that was the 250, right? So
Right.
the rest of them were designated for the giveaway. And, I'll let Diane,
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think Norm did a great job picking out the selection of trees.
Yeah.
Because every year we get some feedback that people want smaller things, and you picked a lot of great smaller things, and people were really happy. And I think they were all native except for the lilac, and people were happy to take the lilac, so it didn't really matter. So, so that, first of all, I think that was great. Second of all the trees went somehow. Norm took a few home, and I took like 30 home and posted it on, there were about 30 left. And I posted it on the Ocean Township Garden Club page, and that was Sunday afternoon. And by Tuesday morning, they were gone. People came to my house, picked them up, neighbors saw, took them. So I think that was a
Yeah,
big
I don't know
success.
how many I wound up with, maybe 30, whatever it was.
Okay.
But I potted them all up
Yeah,
in like 3-gallon containers in the town's compost.
yeah.
That's what they have there. So they're sitting there in pots.
What kind do you have, Norm?
I have some of most of the things, except the ones that went fast, like the 2 viburnum
They went
went fast, although I might have 1 or 2 of those, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
the
But
lilacs.
I know I have some sweet bay magnolias.
Mm.
I've got some Missa sylvatica. I
Yeah.
think there is some taxodium there.
Oh, I forgot about the
Cypress.
volatilis.
Cypress,
I
yeah.
forgot about that.
There might be some, maybe some birches there.
Yeah.
My plan was, I just told them, I know what some of them were, but was to, when they leaf out, I'll figure out what they
Yeah.
are. If they
Yeah.
leaf out, if they don't leaf out, I don't really care what they were,
Right,
and
yeah,
and then once I see what they are, we'll try to talk it up and try and.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
but I just wanted to suggest something for you guys to think about next year. Ped and I had just had a passing conversation on the street about, I wonder about how many of these third grade trees get in the ground. So I just want to relate the story of my third grader. So my third grader grandson in Wanamassa is OCD. If you tell him to take the tree home, he's taking the tree home. And he did. And I immediately got a phone call from my daughter. We're going to need help getting this tree in the ground. That was Thursday. And like they can't be out of their refrigerator for too long. You leave them out for too long, they're not going to grow. So, where are you going to plant it? Oh, she couldn't decide where she wanted to plant it. What do you want to do with it? She couldn't decide. So on, back and forth, back and forth. So it was almost a week by the time I got over and helped him put it in a pot that I brought with the dirt and the compost and the fertilizer. So that was a case where like everything's going. The kid behaves, the mom asked for help, and the grandmother sort of knew what she was doing. So I wonder of the other 250, and so I wonder if maybe it would not be a bad thing to draw up a kid-based survey, and the questions for the teachers to give out like in May, the end of May, and the questions would be something like, did your tree make it home? Did you plant your tree? Did you water your tree? Does your tree have leaves? Just to get like a little idea of what's happening.
I do have a mini anecdote.
Okay.
When I called the recreation department because I wanted to talk to Mike Trico, and I said, because we got to have the place to do. And whoever answered the phone there said that she used to live in Monmouth. She doesn't live there now, but they got tree seedlings that they planted.
Mm-hmm.
And when they moved out of Monmouth, they were bigger than the house.
Mm.
I was gonna say,
I do cut them down on occasion.
Do you? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love that,
Can't
I love that idea,
Bush finally died, right?
and I think
50
it,
years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's older ones out.
I love that idea, and I think paired with that is the idea that we prep the teachers for how the kids can take it home and maybe provide some sort of potting or something for them to make it easier for families that need that.
They do have,
Pot.
they
But
do
basically
have,
from inception to follow.
Yeah.
Preventative as well.
Right.
yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes, so they do have the, instructions, you know.
Yes,
I don't
and
know,
they
I
were
don't know
really
what they
good.
give, right, because I know they've got the sheet that
Yeah.
shows how to plant it and all that
Right.
sort of stuff, but.
I thought the
it's soft
instructions were
copy,
really
so I
good. that
assume
we-
they sent them home.
I saw that on the plant that he brought
too,
home.
you know,
It was really good.
so between
Yeah.
that and everything else, they got a chance.
Yeah, right.
Real-
But there's
We
also kids
probably
that probably
should
left
do-
it on the bus.
We
Just to be
probably,
realistic.
I'll tell you that, I'm not gonna say I'll take the hit alone on this, because no one suggests this, but we probably should, a month before Arbor Day,
Mm,
start making some kind of publicity. That they're gonna be we're getting them out, blah, 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 you know,
Mhm.
and we're gonna- and even have a survey, that's more public than just asking school kids a question. And,
Yeah.
and try and get anecdotal information from people
mhm.
about trees that made it home, got planted, and now either loved or hated.
You know, it's not too late, it's not too late to do something fun like that now, where you could simply say, hey, have you got a tree? We just gave out, do a little blurb on either on your ocean cares or
Mhm.
one of the sides, say, we just gave away and give the number of trees.
Mhm.
It's really simple. If you planted a tree, you know, take a picture of it and share it. And if you planted a tree in years past, take a picture of it and share it. I've got a beautiful beach plum. I'm sure we all have trees. We could all just, probably among those that set our table, put a
Right.
whole bunch of trees up and just to show that we are doing this. So
Yeah,
that would just be a really quick, easy thing to do, just using social media.
right.
And that's what people look at anyway.
I think that would be good because I think sometimes people go home with them and are a little taken back by the 8 inches of,
Yeah.
twig with no leaves on it. And it would be very inspiring for them to see, oh, in 4 years, look what I'll have, you know?
Yeah, and they do keep, one year I had a pack of whatever in my refrigerator, who knows how long, but they were still viable months in the refrigerator, months after I got them.
Can I say one thing too? So, I went over to Monmouth. I
Okay.
probably met your grandson.
Okay.
And we, coupled with, I guess, I forgot Supervisor O'Neill, and they brought us over. It was me and Robert Chair, and we did like a little presentation about why Earth Day and the trees and all was important.
Mhm.
And we tried to get the kids excited
Yeah.
about the trees. So kind of like what you're talking about, I was thinking for next year, maybe the council can go to each of the 3 grammar schools, because we did Bonamassa just because of the time,
Yeah.
but the other 2 would be great too. And we brought them out to the garden, and it was like
Yeah, I
a
saw
whole little
pictures of
thing.
that. Good, yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun too, and the kids were excited. They couldn't wait to take their trees home. So I don't know if maybe we could do something like that next year.
Mhm.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things, we also kept
Partner with
questioning
the
people
school.
about the deer, protecting from the deer and whatever and so on and so forth.
I still like Diane's suggestion about a follow-up survey,
Yeah.
because if we find trees are not getting
Yes.
planted, we have to find out why and how we could facilitate.
And maybe pivot, maybe do a planting on each school ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the kids that don't want to take a tree.
Well, we have to figure out what success is, because I put 10 in the ground last week, so I'm thinking if 2 of them make it to next year, it was a success. So if we're looking at 20% success,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
Right.
So, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And if kids aren't going to plant them in their own yards, if their parents say, no, don't bring a tree home, I don't have a place to put a tree,
Mm.
maybe there can be an adopt a tree kind of a thing for the kids, where they can have a tree that's planted somewhere else, like either on their school or in public park. Like, this is a tree, you want this tree.
Yeah.
This is your tree. This might die and crush the little kid, but but still, we can engage them. The school is so amenable to working with things.
Yeah, it was all good, and I did notice, Pat, that you probably was waiting for me to leave so you could go get your trees.
Well, I took a couple and
And then I gave you some
Diane
more.
gave me some. I didn't want to be that guy. I think I have one of each. I'll let you know
It's all,
an experiment how
no, it's all good, we used to get, there's only so many things you can get, but the things that go are flowering plants and so on and so forth, which.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it was a great
So I
selection.
decided to give a tree to the kids,
Mhm.
And the other ones still were some, still, with that, overall, those were some very nice stuff.
Yeah, they were
Right
really
into
nice.
the ground, you know?
Can we ask the schools if they would like some of the ones that are extra? Because I know in Monmouth, there was, Mr. Bosman's asked about a tree for memorial, for somebody that had passed there, so I don't know.
Yeah,
If
but
we
I
can
think,
reach out
I
to
think
him.
that, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, if it's a memorial tree, they should go get something that's at least
Something good.
taller than a table. taller than a
That might
table.
survive.
That will survive, we don't want it.
That you should put something around it.
Too out of water.
For example, okay, I have at my house right now in a pot, the pot's maybe a 12-gallon container or so. Okay, it's a Salem oak ceiling that I got in the state, okay? It was about this big. And now out of the pot, it's about 5 feet, but it's still only as thick as my thumb, even though it's 5 feet, maybe this wide, okay? So I'm waiting to get it to be something, you know, some size on it, because it came with a certificate. Now, people don't know what the Salem oak is. This was a very, very, very old oak in Salem, New Jersey, that literally dropped dead. It fell over about 2 years ago or so. And they must have had about 400 million acorns from this tree. And but they were giving them out with, you know, with the certificate and so on and so forth. It had, at some point, it had its own website, something like
It was,
that.
wasn't it like, all, you know, didn't have like some historic significance around during the.
They think it might have
Sure were.
been, it might have been 300 years old, but it wasn't though a specific tree like they, you know, the people met around it or something like that. But the point is, it was a very nice, big.
Witches.
Forever.
Witches.
Okay, so anyway, so that's something.
Different Salem.
And I actually have a second seedling that's only about this big that I got from someone in Eatontown. Someone in Eatontown got 2 of them. And someone in their town, she must have been in and she was gonna, and she told me, oh, we got 2 trees, and other people said, we're not gonna plant more than 1 tree. So somehow she got my name, so I have that one still kind of, doesn't look any better 2 years later than it was, but it's alive, doesn't have leaves on it. But, but theoretically, we have 2 Salem oak trees.
So who would Mr. Bosman's talk to about getting a tree? Do we donate trees? And another resident asked me about if they bought a tree, which they did, if we reimburse them for the tree. So 3 questions
I mean, I'm sorry, they bought a tree for,
for their property, and they wanted to be reimbursed for that.
Oh, gosh.
Well, right
I
now.
don't think we
No,
don't have a
right-
direct,
no.
We don't
we
do
don't,
that?
we don't write
Hear
checks.
me out. Now, Bill Brooks lives in Red Bank, okay?
Okay.
And he's on their shade tree commission,
Mhm.
okay? And he told me that their shade tree commission has a program, I'm not sure exactly how they determine who or what, but they're actually buying trees, B&B trees, and giving them to someone.
Mhm.
Here it is. I don't know if they sign up to do something or not, okay?
But it's a real tree, it's not a seedling or
No,
something.
it's a real tree, okay?
Okay.
And I don't know how much the budget is for how many trees, okay? Because a decent sized tree used to cost like that's $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they cost $300-$400 for a tree that's not all that gigantic, but it's still a tree, real tree.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's variable, okay? So I was thinking if we do have, we'll move on from that in a second, okay? So right now, we have to figure out what the rules of engagement are. Now, in Freehold, I know for a fact, because I know someone who got one of these, you can call up the shade tree commission there and say, I'd like to get a tree. And when they get to you, however they decide that, they come and plant it. So I saw this guy's tree, it was almost about a 2-inch tree.
You mean the shade tree
Their shade tree commission,
commission plants it?
their shade tree commission planted it on his property,
Okay.
near the street, but they planted it, and it was there, you know, it had a, you know, I think they put mulch on it, had 2 stakes, and and I said, okay, here's your tree, and I don't know what the rules of engagement are, okay? Right now, in this town, okay,
Okay.
the way the rules are, which we're trying, I assume that they're working on getting the rules changed, but the rules that I don't like, you know, if you read the ordinance
Mhm.
about the shade tree commission, and look at the things that the powers of the shade tree commission, all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So what it says there is that if there's a tree, that's the town's tree in front of your home,
Okay.
and it has to come down, what the ordinance actually says is the town will take it down, which they don't do anyway. But the town will take it down and then bill you for the cost. And they can
Okay.
put a lien on your property, et cetera, et cetera. Or if, see, right now, we can't do that because we don't have spaces where you can expect a tree to live in front of most homes in the town, really, okay? But if we did, we could come and plant a tree there
Okay.
and then bill you for that tree, okay? Now, in other towns, I keep saying I'm gonna do this and give everyone a list of towns to call, but I know Bill has called a few, okay? But the question is, what is it like with other towns? To me, let's go back to the old days when it'd be a town and a fire would break out, okay? Everyone in town would grab a bucket and head to that fire. No matter whose house was on fire, everybody was there fighting that fire, okay? So now you've got a town where some people have no trees in front of their house, and some people are unlucky enough to have a giant tree that's gonna cost them $4,000 if it dies, to take it down, okay? As opposed to everyone in town paying about 50 cents to pay to take that tree down, not even, right? So I think that's what we're working on, trying to get those rules changed.
So those rules were in the draft of the shade tree plan, the short shade tree plan I wrote up, and I spoke with you before our last meeting, so
Right.
you couldn't attend it.
Correct.
And the rest of the shade tree, commission agreed, I should send those to the mayor and Dave, which I did, I have not heard back yet, but I'm gonna follow up with that. So they have them, and that has those two ordinances, the ordinance that the town will pay for removal of dying trees on town property, even if it's on the other side of your sidewalk. And if you can plant a tree, the other one is that because we don't have spaces, we want tree-lined streets, we need to be able to plant on people's properties, that will change that, and changing that ordinance, the town can put that in, and work on an ordinance that you could put a tree in there, and the town would put it in, Public Works would put it in, be responsible for keeping it alive for a couple of years, whatever town would, there for advice, help, whatever, and we'd be able to get more trees. That piece is probably makes sense. If we change that ordinance, then that makes sense to work with the Complete Streets programs and the folks working on that. And talking with them, that's a possibility. So we are moving forward with changing these things, but
Right, I think that at some point, I think a lot of people will want to get trees, and so on and so forth. So I think at some point, from the beginning even, we may have to have some kind of a lottery type of a thing, so that you're not,
First come, first serve.
yeah, but that gets to be, I don't know, I think.
You mean for what we're doing currently? You want
No,
more?
No,
if we can plant.
suddenly we're gonna start planting
So we're
trees,
upgrading to
giving
larger
out trees.
trees, you're talking about?
On the owner side of the sidewalk, not the curb side, where technically it's not our township land, but that's where you could have a tree that lives. If you want tree-lined streets, if you want to replace trees, we create and adopt a tree, kind of a program. We have to change the ordinance so we can do that, use
Right.
shade tree money, use township, public works to
Like how
plan
far
it.
inside the sidewalk should be, it should be at least 3 or 4
And
feet inside the
create-
sidewalk.
Yeah, and create like an
Or
adopt a
plant it.
tree program.
Mhm.
And that's where shade tree money, it's a great use of shade tree money because it's a tree at a time. It's not, the other things that are in the plan I wrote are big projects that require grants. Some of them, but very available grants that the township can write. But this is like just a really good use of shade tree funds, just to get trees all over town.
So would you approach property owners and ask if you can plant a tree there? Or would you wait for people to come to the town?
We'd wait for people to come to town, I think, but we'd have to do a lot of work on promoting it and making it public. We have to
Probably
make sure.
application process then, because
Yeah, we have to
it
create.
may not
all
be
that.
suitable or whatever.
Right,
they're-
it has to
Right,
be
we have to-
reviewed
we have
and
to-
looked
we have to-
at.
There has to be some, there's a lot of work to
Yes.
figure out exactly what the rules are going to be. I'll tell you a story, and towards it's a bad story, but we decided to do some planting. We planted in the development near Monmouth College, this Alpine and Parai,
Mhm.
they had a name, that area.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
The planning law went very well.
the point is, it
There
went
was
too
no
well.
follow-up.
It went too well.
Yeah, but there was no follow-up.
Right.
There was
correct.
no
follow-up.
follow-up.
So we planted all these things, they're all legacy sugar makers that got
Buses hit
planted.
them, buses hit them, trucks hit them.
And we didn't do any, there was no plan to prune them up or anything like that, okay, it was bad news. I saw, we'll talk a little bit more about these things you can get for CEUs, but one of the things I watched a couple of years ago, talked about, and they showed a tree, And it looked like it was maybe a 2.5 to 3 inch caliper tree, but it was a good size one. Maybe it was 12, 14 feet tall or something like that. And the guy basically said, "You'll see that tree? Not a single branch that's on that tree will be on that tree when it's mature. Because as they start to get bigger, you start limbing up the
Right.
tree. You know, as it starts to, the diameter grows, you should be taking off the branches so that the lowest branches might be 15 to 20 feet in the air on a tree, okay? I see in my own neighborhood, I see people that have trees. Matter of fact, there's a guy, I specifically stopped and talked to him, but he never did anything. He's got a tree on his property, it's a sugar maple of some kind, on his property, and the branches now, that you can just put your arm on, they're like 4 to 5 inch branches. But when I told him like 5 years ago, or whatever it was, they weren't, you know, something like that. But that's what we didn't do on those streets. So now, those trees that we're so glad that we put them in are a hazard to navigation and who knows what else.
I don't think they've done anything to this day.
That's why we need public works.
Right.
Well, the they is us.
Equipment
The
and
they is
staff.
us.
Yeah, but you haven't even looked at the numbers to put together something like that and what it would cost. It's really not,
Well, Steve Higgins actually did put together
The-
numbers and budget.
but like you say, the work that needed to be done there, they could have done, but they never did. That could have been
How many
done
years ago?
without getting into big
Many.
Okay,
equipment and
so
stuff.
new administration, new head of public works, great new
And,
world.
and we've learned from our inexperience, moved it on. The town I grew up in Massachusetts, 50 years ago, had a small nursery that they put in, it was managed by Public Works. It was a tree division portion of that. And that's where the trees came from to redo the town.
Yeah, we've planted trees on the, you know, over in the Joe Player Park area.
Mhm.
Before it was a Joe Player Park even, right? And we wound up with a nice cluster, you know, a very heavily wooded section.
Eatontown did the same thing. They planted a bunch of stuff, the intent of using them. But it's the same thing. If you don't have people managing it and following through with it, you've got nothing.
Right. I think there's more interest even in the town, even, you know, between the council and public works. I think there's an interest in doing things, okay? The question is to try and do as many things correctly as we can so that we don't create another problem and so on and so forth.
That's why we need all these things spelled out in the community forestry management plan.
Which is, they were, but I think the,
It's a long-term
Yeah.
plan. You need
and
a
there are,
long-term.
and
It's
you
not-
talk about putting a bunch of trees in a public space where the township is responsible for maintaining them. Is very different from putting a tree on somebody's property and saying,
Correct.
you are responsible. for
That's what I'm
maintaining
worried about.
Yeah, well,
And
I
that's
feel
what
like
that-
something happens and a branch falls, and, you know, crashes on someone's car, they're gonna be like, your tree caused damage to
Oh,
my
well, that's-
car.
That's why you have lawyers and insurance.
I know, but it's just like,
That's
seems
not-
like.
You can't, yeah, you know, you
That's why-
can't.
People are like, what
Nobody
I've
would
learned in
ever-
Ocean Township last year is everybody's ready to blame somebody else for.
Well, right now it says, right now the ordinance says that we can plant it on our property in front of your house and all that sort of stuff. Right now, if we're gonna plant the tree on someone's property, okay? We need to have all the lawyers get together and come up with a contract with whoever's gonna get a tree on their property, whether we give it to them or we plant it, however that works out, that part. But there should be some kind of a contract that says that once this tree is in the ground, it is your tree. You know, and not the
Right,
responsibility.
we have to
of the
work, and other
township.
towns do this, I mean, this is not a.
I'm just saying, so there must be plenty of, right, there must be plenty of other towns that have done this, and have agreed to the same
Yeah.
things, that have all the paperwork in place, that we should be able to educate ourselves from. And copy the ones that did it right, and hopefully.
I just wonder if people are willing to go through all this work because they want to save a couple $100 on buying the tree themselves.
No, I think you want to inspire people to do, to actually care about having tree-lined streets, people who care about the community.
Yeah.
And that it's, I mean, I think you try to appeal to people's better
Right, I
interests.
think, right, I think
on
the one
this.
that Grace Ann's talking about is someone that planted a tree and they're hoping that we can pay for it, which I don't think is gonna
No,
happen,
not reimbursed.
okay? But that that doesn't mean
us and the-
that it can't start happening for some people, okay? And that's why I said the lottery thing, because you don't want to be, oh, you knew so-and-so, and you knew so-and-so.
But how do we get this started? Right?
Okay,
Because
so-
there are people that want trees.
Well,
Well,
the first thing is-
we have to change the ordinance.
And how do we do
Well,
that?
we have the ordinance and we also have to have the budget, okay? Now, I did some quick math. I got some information from the tax assessor
Mhm.
of how many accessible properties there are, and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, okay?
Okay,
So if you have, say, 20,000
20,000,
assessed properties, right?
that's what I heard
And,
too.
and each one of them was
Radio
assessed
town.
$10.
A tree?
No, $10 for taxes. If taxes go up $10, let's say
$10 every
20,000,
year.
that's $200,000. Okay, just saying, so it doesn't take a lot of money across the number of properties we have overall. You know, they don't want to, the council, I'm sure, is sensitive to raising the tax rate, so on and so forth, but it turns out with the amount of ratables we have, you don't have to raise it very much to raise a lot of money. And my own personal gut feeling is that when people find out that their taxes went up $5 or $10, but it's because we want to make the town more habitable and we're going to plant trees all over the place, okay? And we're going to have a program even where people could get the trees on their property potentially, you know, whatever it is. I think there wouldn't be as much kickback.
I'm gonna take a little issue with this, because I think we do have funds that come into the shade tree fund that can be used for this. We've taken, in the comprehensive management plan, we've taken tree removal out of the shade tree budget and said it shouldn't be used for that, so that has to be budgeted now for the tree removal. So it's just maintenance and planting of trees that shade tree is used for, so those funds can be used for that. You know, that's money already coming in. And then for larger projects and planting, you use grants, you get grants. So for homeowners having trees, we should have enough funds to plant a substantial number of trees every year, just for what comes into the shade tree fund. I don't think we need to tax it, but what needs to be changed is an ordinance that allows the town to actually plant on private property. And I thought in the tree plan that I gave you the first, it's in that, I've sent to the mayor. And I think it's going to be up to the council to look at this now and see, and the lawyers, and see what they can do. A, to get so that, you know, the township pays for the removal of trees on township property. We change that ordinance, which we know needs changing. And B, to be able to plant trees on private land and be able to create
For
an
the
adoption
purpose of
program.
of street trees.
For the
We don't-
purpose
not
of
in the
street trees,
backyard.
not in their backyard, for the purpose of street trees. Yes, thank you, Ken, for that
We're
clarification.
not gonna plant them next to the tennis court or beside the swimming pool.
No, they wouldn't want it next to the swimming pool anyway.
I have
No.
a question then, because I'm the new guy, but I did ask some questions to Dave Brown about the money. And I was told there's $48,000 in the shade tree fund. But they also told me that they used it for a bucket truck.
The bucket and they
Yeah.
bought
They bought a lot of things.
yeah, they bought.
They bought a-
They got more than a bucket. They got more
But
than a
you
bucket.
just
truck,
said, somebody did, sorry.
Or something like that.
Probably
Could have been a heel
that
or.
it was
one of the
for
other.
planting and maintenance of trees. So, and then Norm, you said that the township needs to pay for the removal of the trees, or the township or the, property owner, because if we just take
Eventually, the
these
property owner.
buckets.
Even though the ordinance says what I said, I don't believe anyone's read it. I think the township's been spending money on
What?
contracts for tree removal
They do,
but it's been coming.
they
out
pay
of the
for
shade tree
some,
fund.
not all.
But a lot of it's been coming out of the shade tree fund.
Right, and they just bought this bucket truck, isn't that supposed to be
That
used to
just-
take the trees down, so why would we be
Well,
paying?
It's
for
not-
it?
that's-
And the
it's not
plan,
big,
that's
and
maintenance.
It's not big enough, it's a small
No,
bucket.
here's one of the Bill Brooks,
What is it for then?
one of the Bill things that
Justified.
Bill Brooks is worried about. Okay, one thing Bill
It's
Brooks
more
is
for
worried about
for me.
is if the town takes over responsibility for all trees, let's say.
Okay,
And they don't contract, okay? The bucket truck right now only goes up so high, okay? The high power lines
But they're not even allowed to go near them, so they can't.
are, no,
The
but,
trees
but
there.
but if they really were to take on all the responsibility and they got a bigger truck that would get up there, then there's a big risk. There was a sort of a renegade tree guy
Mhm.
who came and went a year or so ago, told me about it at some point in time, who had a guy, and I think he was doing some work in Asbury Park, and he was killed.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that was,
That's awful.
that was, West Down.
West Down, where
The
did
justification.
I'm saying,
Interlake.
Interlake. The point I'm making is it was in that area somewhere, but that was about 2
How much
years
we
ago.
have left?
Probably 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's very dangerous up there, okay? So I think that as long as the town does work, that they have got the equipment, I think they should start off smaller with the equipment, they have the work, they have the,
There's a lot they can do.
there's plenty of work they can do.
Yeah,
with the
they can
equipment.
put in trees and they can,
But-
you know,
You know, you're talking about buying like, you know, the big bucket like I have.
I'm not talking
But
about buying a
no,
big.
no
bucket.
way.
But the thing
I
is-
have never, for
the
the
thing
record,
is,
I have never said.
they
that
have a
you
bucket
should
now
pay for
That
buying.
they could be doing a lot with,
But I think that's
and they're not.
a good
They're not.
question, though.
So they could be doing a lot of elevation along the streets.
Right, but if
They
we
could
put
be
out-
going over by the college and doing
if the
those trees we were
taxpayers
talking
put
about.
out $200,000 for a bucket truck to take down trees to save money for the property owners, and we're not doing that,
Right.
that's a problem, right? I mean, why would we use the $200,000 for a bucket truck that we can't take the trees down that we need to take down?
Or we can't find the qualified people to,
Well, that's
Higher
the other
in
part.
order
That's
to
the
make it
training.
happen.
You got the workman's comp.
Eventually, we might get to that point, but there are plenty of trees that they could take down.
Yes, there's
And-
stuff.
And I would say the amount of work they need to do to work on the trees so that they don't have to come down because they're limbing
That's a
them up
good point.
and there's a lot less weight on them and everything else, you know.
So what would you suggest? I mean, what's the,
But we need
The
to have.
resolution.
First of all, the township needs to come to the Shade Tree Commission before they tap into those funds, which they haven't done. They just,
You're supposed to
Using
consult
it.
with us.
yes,
Okay.
without consulting at all.
And we're also supposed to be given, you know, quarterly reports of what's in the shade tree fund.
I mean, this is why I asked, you know, because we
And
didn't know
also,
last
which
time.
I don't know, I
We
don't
don't know
know
where we're
if
at
we,
right now.
48,000,
We have 48,000 left
correct,
for 2026.
yes.
I don't know if we've ever received the funds from what Paramount Reality.
I asked that question too, and they do not have an answer yet.
It's supposed
I
to be
have-
something
I
like
have- I have not
$300,000.
seen.
Did you guys get paid for the 32 acres that were cut down?
That's
what-
what,
That's
that's,
Paramount.
that's what you're talking about.
That's
Mhm.
for
Not that I-
Not in
Nobody,
They don't know.
nobody
They don't
seems to
know.
nobody
know.
seems to know.
Where that
it is.
Someone
comes
got
from,
paid.
But that was a
somebody,
big problem. That was a big problem though, because we could have money, right, it was 750, is it, was it, for each tree?
Something like
so,
$300,000.
so
Right.
here's, you've got, you know,
No, 750 just became a number.
Yeah, I think it's.
The commercial
it's a
number,
few hundred.
the commercial number was 350.
Right.
And it only just changed this year.
So it was 350
The
times
homeowners, the
3,500.
homeowner thing, if they, homeowners, when we put it in, went up to 750. Even that's only,
That's a
2 or
lot of
3
money
years.
though, we're talking.
So now construction people have to pay 752?
That's over
Yes,
1.2 million.
No, as
They
a
should.
minimum.
That's
The minimum, depending on the diameter.
And that was
So
after.
some will
Yeah.
be assessed.
Yeah.
Larger
The larger
trees,
it gets.
fire.
it went from
They're getting off. I mean, I
350 no
have-
matter how gigantic it
you're
was.
probably get from.
Literally.
Well, that's how I found out about the
To
48,000.
whatever. I remember talking to Dave.
Yeah, I did have
But, you know, if we need to change ordinances or do something like that, we need to.
Price it goes up to
Yeah,
higher
we
number.
need to know how much.
And we don't even know if that change was signed into law.
The 350 to 750.
No, but we have proposed other changes to the land use law to bring the tree portion in line with the residential law. And Julia presented that to the council workshop a couple months
Right,
ago.
it's not just 750, it's 750 and
Yeah, the
up,
commercial has to pay the same rate, as going rate as residential.
But you know,
depending on the
I
size
thought
of
that
the
went
trees.
through. I thought that went through.
there's so much building going on.
Julia
so many
hasn't gotten an answer.
Trees being cut.
I reminded her this week.
They should have a lot of money coming. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
So the overall theme here is that we need better transparency about
Oh,
things
sure.
being cut, things, what the funds come in, how they come in, where they go, how they're used. I mean, it's just,
See-
and Shade Tree is just like everyone else who's been asked by the council, we need the same level of
Right.
transparency
The-
to be
the
shared
thing-
with us.
Like with
Right,
residential
we're
tree
looking in the
cutting,
dark otherwise.
with the permits, we know what that is. The construction part,
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a whole nother animal.
That's all.
Like even Bill does not know what's going on the
Not
construction side of
necessarily,
that.
right.
Yeah. So that's where and that's where the big money would
The
be.
plan was,
Gene, what do you mean by the
the plan
construction
was
side?
to make that the same.
Okay.
Let me, let's table this for now.
Okay.
So we'll talk about a couple more things.
Yeah.
Okay, there aren't that many other things to talk about. Okay,
It's a
but
different.
one of the things, I'm gonna move to it right
That's
away.
basically what
is-
you're.
One of the things on the agenda, I'll jump over a few things right now, is to talk about the meeting dates for next year. See, our fiscal year ends, so the June meeting, the next meeting, is the last meeting that we have a date for. Okay. So, so we need to take a look at the dates.
Are there any
I
big
think I ate
complicated,
the
where
piece
you
of
look
paper
at
with all
this?
this stuff.
Well, obviously, the first week of July, we have to change because it's July 4th
Yes.
weekend and
Yeah.
people aren't gonna be around.
Probably not.
Well, in your agenda, you say the 2nd or the 9th.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the second's
I
actually
agree with Patty, it ought to be the 9th.
is, well, I survived. But, yeah, so I think the
Yeah, I
ninth
think
is a
it's
really
the
big,
holidays
I
this
think there are
year.
a couple of these things, I was looking, comparing to all the Jewish holidays and everything, and I don't know what I did with that.
You gotta say, oh,
Yeah, they donated for,
they're not in my calendar.
and then you said September 3rd or the 10th, because of Labor Day.
Right.
And I think it ought to be the 10th. Agree.
Agreed.
But there was some other thing.
And the holidays are late this year.
Well, they're actually earlier, but they fit in.
Do you want a motion?
So, yeah, I was just trying to think if there was something, I was looking at the things, and I don't know what I did with that piece of paper, so much for that. Take a little more. Anyway, okay, so anyone want to move anything about, right now, we're discussing moving making the July meeting on the 9th and the September meeting on the
So I think the motion ought to say our meeting dates for the 2026-27 should be July 9th, August 6th, September 10th, October 1st, November 5th, December 3rd, January 7th, February 4th, March 4th, April 1st, May 6th, and June 3rd.
So there is a council meeting on the 7th, or I'm sorry, the 9th, July 9th. That might be late. That's
Are they in this room?
They're downstairs, but I would be,
There's an executive.
yeah, that's a 5:30 though, so I'll probably be almost on time. The second one's
Maybe
not
we'll
as
bring
long.
cookies to draw you up.
Yeah.
Hey, Julia.
Hello.
Hi, Julia.
And then September, I'll see.
Ken, what does your phone say as the first night? Say anything like that?
Like that.
But this calendar is
Mine
not
only.
helping me out, but I think,
September 10th.
Nora, we can always change, the dates are always subject to change.
okay, all right, so we'll leave
There
it.
would be
That's
shelter
part of
dates
the
are-
way.
Okay, so we have a motion, does anyone approve that?
I'll second it.
Steve seconded the motion,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
It's not the first night of Hanukkah.
Approved. Okay, so there's a few little other things worth mentioning. One is the community forestry management plan is submitted, okay? But we're still waiting to pay, we haven't paid Ted yet. Because Ricky has some kind of piece of paper that Ted has never had to provide before that he's working on. Okay?
Okay.
Well, so until that happens, we can't send in the report, until he gets paid, we can't send in the report. Which I'm gonna try, which is just as well in my case, because I haven't put all the pieces together, how much we spend in matching labor, community and volunteer, so on and so forth. Yeah. So just a piece of information. Every so often, I'm gonna send out a thing about things you can see. Okay, so there's more than one, but this is the community forestry type thing. One's called backyard forestry, and the other one, I forget what it's called. One is from the University of Massachusetts, one's from the New Jersey Forestry Association. But they're educational, you know, some are at lunchtime, and another one's, I think, in the evening. But you'll get the thing. There's some more important ones for the foresters especially that they charge for, but the regular ones for normal people to just watch and learn something are free. Any person to get CEUs, it's any person who lives in town or works in the town, you get CEUs. You only have to get 8 CEUs per year with at least 2 people getting CEUs. But it doesn't hurt if more than 8 people actually learn something in a given year. So, but then every year, we're fiddling around in December, we're short
Norm, I
of
got
CEUs.
money, I got.
Gene covers it.
No,
I got
the point I'm making is
Sure you do.
that we should just knock it off, but first of all, I think you'll find some of these things are quite interesting.
No, it's good.
There was one I saw one time that was basically, street trees in the law. That was a very interesting. About what the liability is and isn't and so on and so forth, which is all the reason we get the CEUs, we fill out the reports and everything, and we're indemnified if we tell someone not to take down a tree, and then it goes to that.
I gotta ask you that. So when there is a permit to take down a tree, how do neighbors know that there's a permit taken? Is it like,
It should be in the window.
it's in the window, but it doesn't have to be on, like, so that it could be seen?
It should be in the window.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
visible
they
from the
see
window,
it.
but it's in the front window.
Visible from the street in
The
a window.
neighbors don't really know.
Yeah, like green, no, it's
It's
like,
small.
stop this.
I mean, what if it like bright orange?
It's 8.5 by 11, so it's green.
It's like a light green. Yeah.
But
Because you can't really see
we
them.
don't have a thing. It's not like when someone's gonna do something with property and you have to notify all the property owners within how many feet and stuff like that. We don't have anything like that.
Yeah, and
But that's
property
okay.
owners in general should know that
Okay.
everybody out there working the truck needs to have a sticker on the windshield. And you have to- It's all.
Oh, yes.
You had a concern about something?
Yeah, well, I was hoping Bill Brooks would be here because
Oh,
it's mostly about trees that he said are you Chloe? Yes, I talked to
Okay.
her on the phone.
yeah,
What's
but
your name?
I know a bit about,
Chloe.
what was your concern on it?
My concern, do you know what I'm talking about, the property?
Oh, well, a property and he wouldn't give you the permit or what was the
Well,
problem?
It was the house I grew up in
Yeah.
Wayside. We moved out, we had to move out like 2 years ago, but it's a 116-year-old house.
That's where they're gonna cut the.
They already,
They already
the
cut.
owner already cut 2 Norway spruces that were over 100 years old.
Right.
One was struck by lightning.
Right.
So, and then I think Bill Brooks said 5 total. So then there were
Right.
4, what are they called? Eastern white
Eastern white
pines or
pine,
something.
Right.
And I submitted an Oprah request or Oprah request, and, because he said he went through the permits.
Right,
And she just emailed me today and said that there were no documents to support any permits. so-
yeah, there was no like certified tree expert report saying
Right,
that they
there
were
was-
bad or anything like
Right.
that.
So
So
I'm just, well, they're gone.
normally, technically, you can do 3 healthy
Right,
right off the bat.
right.
So if they said that 2 were, well, let's see, the lightning strike would
Yeah.
be
He
dead or
said 2
dead or
were
damaged.
healthy.
So then that would not count towards the
Right.
3.
So my concern now is about replanting, because I just want to know, like, what are the rules for replanting? Like, he couldn't.
I'm
give me-
gonna say on a regular residential, there is no replanting. on some-
He's,
Normally in construction, there would be.
the property, like, the new property owner said that the only reason Bill Brooks allowed him to cut down these, like, super mature trees is because he
Right.
promised to replant.
Oh, yeah, so I don't, but there's no,
And there hasn't been any
Follow-up
replanting.
but that's kind of out of the loop, because definitely, yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
they automatically could do 3 healthy ones and not have to replant.
And is that, so I researched, I don't know anything, I love trees,
Yeah.
this broke my heart, like,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like grief, like, I looked that up, the 3 trees every 3 years, and has that gotten stricter as we've gone along, or looser?
Stricter.
Stricter. And is that, like, in the same realm of many towns, or is that considered a pretty loose? Like, I don't understand, if we just lost 4,000 trees in this town.
Some towns are much stricter. I mean, there is a state ordinance now.
Yeah,
You can go online and read that one.
okay,
That one would require you to replant.
right. But, like, is there a way to make it stricter? Because why are we allowing 3 healthy trees to be cut
I mean,
down?
Ken, you're the
Well,
Shade trees, I mean,
Yeah,
the.
Ken-
That's
Ken's
under the
the-
purview of the
yeah, Ken wrote
environmental
years ago.
commission, which I'm gonna discuss at the next.
I'm sure Ken would like to have it stricter. I
Yeah.
personally would like.
I have proposed changes to the ordinance.
No, no.
Our original version of the ordinance.
Yes.
That the environmental committee put together was 3 trees every 5. Okay?
Right, right.
And then there was a meeting that involved tree removal. People who came in and said, look, that's too strict, blah, 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 and the council decided to make the actual ordinance 3 years. 3 trees within 3 years. Okay? And then there's other things as part of the ordinance, depending on this, there's different kinds of things. There's also the things that come in from board plans. These are the things that go to the planning board of adjustment.
I'm gonna say, but the pools are an addition, so that's not gonna fall under that, you know, that's
Right,
a total.
and it's the ones that come through the building department, okay? Where you wanna put in a pool, you know, it doesn't go through the planning board of adjustment, as long as there's no variances necessarily specific.
But now, Norm, on those trees, they should be paying for the replacement, so they should be paying,
Into the shade
Like-
tree.
And the shade
right,
tree
like
fund.
750. That's why I wonder why the number is so low, because there's tons of projects going on like that.
Yeah, well, how about the one-
So where,
Yeah,
I don't know if
Yeah,
that's getting directed to the
Transparency,
wrong
or that's
spot.
takeaway.
Yeah, it seems like it might not be going
How
to
about
the
the
right.
whole lot on with the back?
Oh, there's tons of them. There's
Yeah,
tons.
but I mean, the one.
Those big trees
They're putting the house up now, that should have been.
They should have been assessed extremely high,
No more, yeah.
those 2 trees, absolutely.
I was definitely gonna bring up your
Yeah.
issue, but Bill wasn't here to
Yeah.
show us.
But you can see how
I
they-
didn't even,
No, it's fine.
as you were saying that, I'm looking at it, and I'm like.
Ask Chloe.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, anyone have anything else while we're running over time?
I'll follow up on.
there's a new tree ban list that was updated in New Jersey.
What
Trees
is
that are, there's 30 new species that are. Yeah.
Oh, what up, yeah, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just added 30 new species like 2 weeks ago.
China pear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some of the
Norway
state,
maple.
bunch of other things.
Okay, the
Okay.
forestry, okay.
So I don't know, like, does this mean that places aren't selling these trees anymore because?
Well,
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right.
You know, and mail order from out of state.
Yeah. So one would argue the permitting process would be expedited on those.
Patty, move to adjourn, Gene?
Oh.
Thank
you.
No,
All in favor of adjourning?
Thank you, Donna.
Aye.
Thank you.
Who's second?
Gene, Ken.
Ken, no.
Steve?
Steve first and
No,
Ken
well,
second.
circumstance.
And I call it the Diane Sermon ordinance,
Ah.
put it in your window because she brought it to work.